Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Day in the Future. This episode we are going to talk about how re-engineering decision making can foster human AI partnerships. We have the great pleasure of talking about this with Peter Ruta. He is the CEO and co-founder of Arcana AI, a software platform that uses AI to enable cognitive automation of complex processes, especially decision support. They are based in New York and they are leveraging data, deep learning, and automation to help organizations make better decisions. And we are talking with him today because he has 20 plus years of experience in the corporate technology sector, expertise in data intelligence through Arcana AI's vision of the future, and a very warm way of discussing about AI and making it simple, although it might seem complex. Thank you, Petrika, for joining us today, and I'm really looking forward to discuss together with you about how AI can help us make better decisions.
Hi, and thanks for having me. And thanks for a good introduction. I appreciate it.
Well, it's nothing but the truth, and again, I'm gonna emphasize that the way that you talk brings AI to more simple terms. It makes them more human, in my opinion. So I'm really glad.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I continuously strive for that. The challenge that I'm going through over time with explaining complex things related to how AI and human may work better together, include as well a simple messaging that could be understood even by people that have never ever wrote a code or worked with AI.
I agree. That's the bridging communication that we are currently passing right now as humans, I would say. So just to reiterate, today we are going to discuss about how re-engineering decision making can foster human AI partnerships. And to start with this subject, I want to ask you, how much decision making power are humans giving away to AI right now?
Well, that's very hard to answer. In fact, re-engineering decision with AI, I think it's started to aggressively advance in our days. What we know very well, based on the past data collected by some analysts or some people that really deep dive in the space, is that the decisions are, and I'm referring here mostly to the business decisions, are not all the time data driven, and there is a need for shifting for more than from more than 50% decision based on gut feel to more based on data driven. So while decisions are becoming more complex, and probably we're gonna be discussing about that later on, because AI sometimes can make decisions more complex. Definitely there is a need for more connected, contextual, and continuous support from AI for improving decisions.
Mm-hmm. So you would say that, because I heard that 50%, and I automatically just thought that, okay, so is it 50% the percentage that?
I'm not saying that. I think there are some kind of reports that work around that. So I remember some kind of reports done by a Big Four, I think,
Mm-hmm.
when only 2/3 of decision making, or even rarely, is based on data, or more than 50 companies base their decisions on gut feel, which is this is more than 50%. That is a little bit scary, especially within the time we are living right now, where we expect that the data should really drive the decision.
So if you were to think about different categories of decisions in which AI can make an impact, can provide insights or so, are there certain categories that are more open to automating them? Okay, and it's like, okay, these types of decisions, you can make them better, it's more efficient. But then when you look into another category or another area, okay, these are the ones that humans can actually provide more value in taking the decisions, and it's more efficient to and more effective to be done like this.
Well, I think there should be a methodology or a process that businesses should go through into when they really focus on re-engineering their decisions for, pretty much reaching the objectives when decisions are better. And if I mention better decisions, this have multiple implications, right? So, in the end, if we think of decisions, we want to make sure that we make better and better decisions, and perhaps the other aspect of decision making in principle is capacity of decisions. So these are the two angles, right? And classifying decisions, is a component of this transition. So if businesses would like to really re-engineer, they should classify which decisions, which one to start with, are they strategic, are they risky, are they influencing the relationship with their customers, how is linked to the current process, how is linked to the whole ecosystem of the organization. Now, if it would be to classify decisions based on the way data and AI could influence them for a better outcome, definitely the two angles we may look at it is, first of all, what is the AI role into the decision-making process, and this brings the opportunity of having a partnership, or just using AI for some components of decision, like bringing a data point for decisions, and also if we look at the direction of where the decision making should go, of course, should refer as well to the time of the decision, or how fast we make decisions. Do we are we really consistent in decisions? And because this in the end will impact the quality of decisions in time. We always want to make it better.
At Arcana AI, if you can tell me more about it, how are you helping organizations, and what type of organizations are you helping make better decisions? If there are specific use cases or there are specific industries, I'd like to understand better.
So yeah, I think talking about what we try to bring to businesses in terms of re-engineering decisions has a little bit of a background. So our expertise and focus over the past couple of years around the space focus mainly on how we can build a partnership between the human and AIs for making faster and better decisions. We currently focus our product on a very, very specific domain. However, the applicability of our innovation expands to other industries. So more specifically, we are currently augmenting decisions of the cybersecurity experts while they deal with cybersecurity attacks, for actually reduce the risk of making decisions like misreading or misinterpreting, or not having the enough capacity to actually address all the attacks, while actually increasing the response time and address the multitude and the complexity of the current decision making in cybersecurity. So our focus right now is to re-engineer the decisions in cybersecurity to better respond to reducing the risk and increase the capacity of the teams. We started this from the perspective of bringing a way to scale the decision making within a very scarce market in terms of talent. The cybersecurity industry at the moment, and is expected to become worse in the upcoming year, it very struggle with the talent. While the complexity of the internet as well as the connectivity evolved massively, and it is going to evolve even more with the whole IoT evolution and with everything becoming connected around us. There is definitely a need of this partnership between AI and human. Now, we started our role compared to other AI solutions started from the premise that because if we look to AI in general, brings a lot of value within the industry of cybersecurity. Attacks are better detected, unusual activity is better detected. But in the end, AI so far has been providing insight for the human to actually make decisions or initiate decision ultimately. Our role is to shift this into a recommendation-based engine in which the decisions are currently improved through a continuous feedback between the human and AI models that in the end enable a capability in which AI now makes the recommendations for the decisions based on the past decisions. And the human has the possibility to accept or decline it. And this enable a continuous learning between human and AI. And we envision that the future of cybersecurity especially, is somehow relying on this partnership. We envision that the future of cyber should be a blend between human and AI, in which AI right now not only that is doing things that human is not capable, but with our product, with our capability, AI is capable to emulate human decision or team decisions. So our role was to bring a technology that better emulates actions or things that humans are doing right now well. And our role is to enable a partnership so the humans are doing that thing that they are doing well with more scalability and with less risk. Risk which may come in the cybersecurity space all over the place, from burnout, from fatigue, from overload, and from the complexity that all the thousands of cybersecurity solutions bring into. I know it's a long answer, but I try to make it clear where we play in the space.
That was a very good description, very good description. I would go into some use cases, but I would first ask if you remember the recent wave of cyber crimes or cyber attacks that happened in the past month or so, even at a company that is supposed to be super secure, LastPassword. I don't know if you know about them specifically, but if there is any example within that wave in which your technology would have been able to help them alleviate risk or mitigate risk in some way or another.
In the end, I'm not sure exactly about this particular case because I don't have all the details. But in the end, our decision-making capability that enabled the team of people to better address elements function in a flow in which the capability of AI to read a particular content with the speed of light the same way a team of engineers are reading that content before making a decision if an attack happened or not, actually reduce the time for response in some examples. So some situations. So this way, the cybersecurity experts could respond better to attackers and could react faster. So the impact is it's lower. Sometimes in many cases of breaches that happened in the past, they were most of the time assisted by a particular event or attack that somehow has been missed by the humans while they monitor the systems, or were not being interpreted in time or not discovered in time by the people. Our role is to make sure that we are not missing any event like that. And when we look at those events, we look with the eyes of the entire team. So we kind of build an AI capability that is capable to emulate the decision-making process based on the same data that the human's supposed to read. So we would reduce that response time massively when it's about this case.
So, for example, in a case of phishing or phishing, however it's pronounced it correctly, they make use of human error within organizations. Well, if you had a best practice, or you would have some cybersecurity specialist within your company that would verify and would understand what type of emails, for example, external emails that come are or are not prone to phishing, then in time you can create a pattern, or you can learn from their activity, so that when another type of case comes up, it takes way less time because it automatically detects something that has learned from the pattern.
Yeah, that's a particular application of machine learning to actually help within the spam or phishing emails to actually uncover unusual activity or unusual messages. That is a particular section of the detection systems in the cybersecurity. Mm-hmm. We are somewhere at a complete different space.
Okay.
Our AI is not meant to detect an unusual activity or unusual email, but to react to decision-making process, or to help human to decide faster and better their actions when they when detections of a phishing activity happens. So because within the security sector, every time an event like that is being detected by another AI, that's an insight for the human to actually use it for deciding together with another set of data mm-hmm. that he works on if that's a real attack or is just a normal activity of the user. And that activity actually brings a lot of load right now in the operations in the business. Now, another aspect is the continuous update between the human and AI should exist. In decision making, I think the fact that the decisions are very depending on the time and the temporal when those decisions are made, requires a continuous adaptation between the human and AI partnership.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What I was trying to focus on was on the fact that based on how people in the organization, tackle those phishing cases and how they decide whether it is or it is not, can be leveraged in order to develop.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So I was on the same page with you here. Awesome. So let me just get into because before each episode, I like to dive into the history of the topic that we're discussing. And in this case, talking about decision making, okay, it wasn't that easy to be honest, but I did see some things about how decision making was made in the past. So in prehistoric times, decisions were guided by interpretations of smoke, dreams, and natural events. So it wasn't that data driven. It wasn't not even based on gut feeling, but it was based on, okay, what does nature tell us to do? Afterwards, ancient Greeks were the first ones to adopt decisions by voting, basically taking into consideration the opinion of others. Okay, and that's when people started to make decision as a collective unit, not only as an individual. I mean, that was the first formalized way of doing it, not that it didn't exist before. And afterwards, between the 19th and 11th centuries, the emergence of mathematics and algebra helped make informed and predictable decisions based on numbers. Then Rand Descartes established the framework for the scientific method as a way of gaining knowledge. Thus, the reason-based decisions appeared. And now, the 20th century brought risk and uncertainty analysis. People like really got into analyzing how they make decisions, with industrial planning for optimization and organizational decision making that integrates fragmented data sources and silos of information. So basically, the more we created, the more stuff there was for us to analyze. And we are moving in that. It's going to be more and more and more. And now, in the information era of high amounts of data, we need structure and interpretation, and besides that, help in actually keeping the pace with making decisions. And that's why I believe that this subject of how we can re-engineer decision making by fostering partnerships between AI and human, it's the way to go, and it's the way we're going to move forward.
Yeah, I think it's already happening. This is a lot of infusion of decision intelligence, at least at the level of decision support, in which AI, using its own power, of course, designed by humans, is capable of things of, such as, digging into huge amount of data, recognizing patterns, or bringing insight for decision, for making more informed decisions. Now, it's definitely, and I think at the beginning of this year, there was a lot of noise, especially from the fact that decisions are evolving right now with this partnership between human and AI into a space where not only that the decisions are faster, but they become less riskier, and in the same time, there is an adaptability to the complexity of today. Right? Today we have a lot of data. In the past, we had very limited information to make decisions. Now there is a need for collective decisions. Now blending AI with collective decisions perhaps would be the next level before dreaming of let's say that final state between the AI and human in decision, in which people may mention something about autonomous decisions. However, this is a kind of an evolution, or rather than a state, because it's an evolution of the confidence between the human and AI models, and those AI models will have to adapt in time as human evolve over time as well, and data evolve as well.
You were mentioning to me when we discussed about it the difference between decision support, decision augmentation, and decision automation. If you were to tell the main difference between it and how your technology applies either one of it, how would you do it in such a simple terms so that the audience can understand it?
Yeah, I mean, some analysts are classifying decisions in these three categories, and I particularly like this comparison because it's evolutive, like you explained earlier, the historical evolution from your perspective on how human started to make decisions. Now, if we look to decision intelligence, which is the area of leveraging AI, and when I say AI, is very wide and generic, for actually, improving decisions. And if we consider decision support, which is probably where most of the businesses are currently either are or they are planning to be. In this area, decisions are ultimately initiated and made by the humans. And of course, the principles and the biases that exist, around it, that is a component of the decision-making process. It's built in. It's something that cannot change. Machines here or AI here would provide insight, or would provide an alert, or would provide in the end, support for a final decision which is at the hand of the human. Now, it is more and more clear that this particular decision support capability reaches some level of complexities and struggle, because the capacity of decisions tend to slow as those insights are more and more complex. So I make decisions now based on some AI insights, and I have so many insights that it's started to become complex for me to make decisions. And in fact, even we see this with some customers. If we trigger a questionnaire around some decisions that they made a week ago, and now we see that those decisions change, there is a particular struggle to actually, respond to that, discrepancies. So by nature, human, it's right now struggling in terms of capacity and risk as part of this decision support. Now, if we look to the evolution to decision augmentation, this is somehow where that partnership starts to show more of an adaptability between the human and AI. This time, AI, provides recommendations for decisions, perhaps based on the past decisions. In our case, like we do it based on the past, collective decisions, and the human has the possibility of validation this time. And this partnership, I think, is the solution, because this way AI could adapt as human make changes to the decisions, and in the same time, human gets informed with the historical information, with the knowledge base. And this actually addresses the capacity of decision making, but in the same time, by having AI ultimately recommending the decisions, the risk of making wrong decisions is massively reduced. Now, of course, from this level of augmentation, if we, somehow wet dreaming of decision automation, this is again an evolution of the confidence between the models that are assisting or partnering with the human for making decisions. However, we are not envisioning, that replacement of human in decision making, especially when we talk about the edge-based decision making, like contextual-based decision making, which are mostly related to the edge. Even there will be AI very advanced that will be capable of, replacing human in decisions. The role of the human will change in time into, overseeing the activity of AI, but in the same time being able to protect from, disastrous decisions. And, there will be a shift probably looking to the future into how human and machines will going to work together for decision making. Now, I think it's critical that to understand that the way the partnership between human and AI should be continuous. The capability to update each other is that multiplier in value outcome that is being reported right now from the use of AI with I think no more than 10% of the businesses which are embracing AI for profitability or for making businesses better. This is a long answer, but I hope it covered the categories of decision making.
It really did. It really did. What I basically understood, I tried to summarize it as much as I can. Decision support deals with insights. It brings you forward how different sets of data provide you with relevant data. That's the first one. Then you go into decision augmentation, in which AI helps you make sense of the data and comes up with possible paths of making decisions, practically recommendations. And then when you move into automation, it does it by themselves. And what I would ask is, how, in this partnership, what are the unique strengths or the unique advantages of humans that are keeping them relevant and valuable in decision making?
First of all, the current capabilities we have never give access to all the contextual data of decisions. Yep. So that is one aspect. Now, whenever the humans are discovering new contextual data, they could actually could influence the future decisions by adding that piece of data to the AI from the moment this is being observed by the human. At least that is the current technology available in the market. In the end, the data is the fuel, and the way the data and becomes the fuel is influenced by the interpretation of the human. So it's an evolutive element between the decision support and decision automation, in which based on how human react to the changes of the environment, AI would actually impact the KPIs of the decision-making process.
I agree with you. So with the advancements in IoT, that's one part, and in biometrics, in understanding how the human body functions, and the more and more types of and sets of data that we have at our disposal, the contextual data tends to be more and more at the disposal of AI, in a sense.
Exactly.
Yes. So if we were to go, I'm going to stretch it, I'm going to really stretch. If we were to go into the very, very far future, in which everything that can be measured is measured through technology, at that point in time, what type of decision-making capabilities are bringing more value to the table from humans? What are we doing better? Because there is something I'm tying it usually to the gut feeling, and the gut feeling that you do not understand, but sometimes it takes and it makes better decision than data. But
well, in the end, AI has access to content rather than context.
Mm-hmm.
And some business processes require the expert or the human to analyze with their knowledge and experience that content in order to make sure a data-driven decision is made. Now, when we think of complex business processes within the business world, when we speak about collective teams, the consistency of decision making becomes a question as well. Mm-hmm. So the capability of providing this partnership is actually allowing organizations to advance into a situation when human brings the best to the table. Mm-hmm. Whenever humans observe new aspects of the context that are not accessible in terms of data for as content, he has the possibility. You human have the possibility to actually change the AI decisions, and by changing it, the AI should have the capability to learn from the human. So in time, through evolution, human has the role of, adapting and training AI models in order to, provide back to the humans that collective knowledge that has been used and also validated by the humans driving to good decisions. And that is only enabled by the continuous loop between the human and the AI models.
That's very interesting, because what you're saying is that evolution, that's the main thing that AI can bring to us as humans. Evolution accelerated. It helps us adapt better to how we are evolving. And
yeah. Now, if just simply saying, would you be getting, would you be doing a better decision, if we speak generically about decisions, if you would have a third party telling you a summary of your past decisions around the same topic? Maybe yes, maybe not. It's a question that we should ask, right? So if we would be always, having in front of us past decisions of ours, of the people like us, prior to making a new decision, perhaps decision will be better. I assume that we'll think twice how decision is made, and sometimes will be even faster, right? So it all depends on how this is being approached by each and every individual person. But if we refer to the business, the need for consistency, especially for risk avoidance, it's mandatory, and that is one of the areas that we were trying to improve with Arcana. So we are trying to help experts to make better, less riskier decisions, and faster.
I have two last questions because it's already a bit late. One, what would a day in the future look for you when human and AI are truly making decisions as partners? How would a day in the future look for an individual in a company that you've helped with this technology? But you can go as far as you want.
Well, I envision a capability in which in every business individual or group of individuals, depending on the common goal, right, that defines their efficiency, benefit from the capability of being assisted within decision-making process by an AI without having a huge team of data scientists crunching data and going back and forth validating decisions. That is my vision, and that's what we aim for, right? Bringing to any expert a new kind of making better decisions without having at hand a huge team of data scientists or a big infrastructure of data that would allow him to spend hours and hours to actually analyze if the decision has been data driven or not. That is my vision.
So the power of AI in the hands of every expert, in a way of actually leveraging the capabilities that until now the greatest tool that we have reached as humankind. So everyone can benefit from it, at least in organizations, from what we're discussing at this point.
Yeah, there will be two, and to expand more on this, I think there will be in, 5, 7, 10 years, we're going to benefit from a human level intelligence in the cloud. Google, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, they may come up, or even other, Microsoft, they may come up with something like this. But if we think of the decision-making process in business, which is very, very isolated from the privacy perspective, there is a question raised, would that, big cloud intelligence have access to my edge, to my privacy when making decisions? And if we imagine that question, residing in 10 years from now still, and the concerns about the data privacy and everything, would we imagine that the humans will not going to leverage AI technologies for improving their decisions, therefore not having the infrastructure of the big cloud provider at hand? So that area is where I think decision-making partnership between AI and the human at the edge requires some focus. And that's where we go to with our products, right? Are you now in cybersecurity, but maybe tomorrow when you make decisions in healthcare, because we need a lot of doctors, and we need to leverage the historical input of those doctors with all their diagnosis, connecting diagnostic data, their experience, the whole practices around the world with the real-time decision making within the cabinet. If we think of finance the same way, if we think of perhaps insurance and IoT, when decision making process requires a scalability as well as risk reduction, there will be needed tools. Again, there will be not enough data scientists or not enough people able to focus on this problem at the edge. So decision making at the edge still is making good partnership, good outcomes for the businesses, and that will be driven by profitability and efficiency in the market. Perhaps it will be similar with what has happened in the retail space with AI over the past couple of years. If you don't use AI in retail, you are not existing today. So it will gonna be the same in decision making. And I like to make another comparison. When Tesla is gonna drop us, from a ride without the driver, our decision making process is gonna be completely different, and that's not very, very, very far away from us.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So I see a world where everyone can truly benefit the power of data, and it's made available at the hand of each organization, for example. And one last question: as for organizations, what can they act on now in order to benefit from that future as soon as possible? How can they act differently, or what type of decisions they should make now?
I think every organization should take considerable, let's say, focus around, analyzing which decisions require re-engineering. Not all decisions require engineers, so there are multiple, perspectives. People may look into this, either if decisions are strategic, either if they are risky, either if they are, related to a particular process. So all these elements should be analyzed by businesses if they want to, let's say, have better outcomes in time. That is probably the best way. I would say that strategic versus risk might be one of the space, but it depends from industry to industry.
If you were to give a one-liner, one-liner to any organization that can benefit from this in the future, and they should do something right now, what should they do?
I think they should think of a way that the strategic decisions are somehow being evaluated, or I think a way to improve those decisions starts with recording them. And that because as I said, there is a challenge in capturing the decisions so they could be reused for future leverage of those decisions. Now is an interesting theme of let's say learning from the humans and bring that adaptability to the future. I think that would be my recommendation. Capturing the current decisions along with the data that influence decisions. So somewhere not far away from here, the collective historical decisions are becoming the fuel of future better decisions.
So first, it's about understanding how you make decisions. First you need to truly understand that, and then you can move into mapping out where you can get the data from it, how you can optimize it. But first of all, for any organizations, understand how are you making decisions right now.
Yeah, I mean, how and what's the outcome? Because again, it depends on how strategic are some decisions, how risky are some decisions, are they influencing customer interactions, are they influencing complex processes that disrupt or not my organization? All these kind of things I think they are now evaluated by the current leaders in business in order to improve their decision-making process. The improvement of the decision-making process, I think, is the final objective of this partnership between human and AI. And that improvement comes from capacity of decision-making. I can have the same people making more decisions, but more important, better decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this will conduct probably to the abundance that people are talking about when we look at the technology.
Yeah, it's gonna be a world where making better decisions is gonna bring a lot more value, because we have the data, everyone has the data in time to do it. It's not gonna be about leveraging the accessibility of data, but the way in which you make decisions based on it.
Exactly.
And I think that's the creative spark in which someone comes up with a great idea, humans in general, by making sense of it in a way that it just comes up. I think that's the thing that keeps us.
Exactly. There will be all over the place AI leveraged, and the technology that enables the AI in a certain way. Our space is to make sure that we learn from the decisions and we improve them, and we want to do this in a fully enabled partnership between human and AI. We are great believers into that, and that's the multiplier in value for the businesses looking forward, not replacing the human.
That's how I see it as well, and thank you for painting together with me this future and this day in the future that we are all moving towards. Thank you again for this.
For the opportunity.
It was a great, warm, simple conversation that I had the chance to do it again. So thank you. I truly appreciate it, and I believe that the audience will be grateful for this as well.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity, and look forward to hearing feedback from.
Okay, and we're gonna talk soon. Maybe see each other as well when I pass by. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of A Day in the Future. Looking forward for the next one. If you want to hear more about it, subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and any other major streaming platform. Also, if you want to see the latest news and see the latest insights that we are providing to our audience on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, please follow us on social media as well. We'll keep in touch. See you soon.